just going to come right up here. And I'll sit back here. Oh, God. All right, guys, good morning. We got Denise here. We're going to get started with her. We'll just go right to that chair up there.
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Y'all good?
Yep.
Who's got the first question?
Right back here. Denise, so how far, so far in the PFL, how has the relationship been with you compared to what it was with Scott Coker and Bellator?
Well, like this is my second fight in PFL, and for me it doesn't feel like many different. I see a lot of familiar faces that I also see in Bellator, Mike Colgan, we just talked right now, and so for me it just feels like almost the same, only Scott Coker is missing, but for the rest everything is just the same.
So at a young 37, what's really left for you to accomplish?
Well, 37, I'm so long in this business, but I'm still having so much fun still, and so hungry still for doing the best I can in the cage. So yeah, being this age and being here for so long, but still have the same mindset and the still fire that I have 20 years ago. So just having fun and living my life, and what else is better than this?
Now, you and Dakota have a lot of the same similarities, except for the age difference. So is there a point in your head where you say, I got to teach this young lion that she's not the top dog yet?
Well, first of all the respect for Dakota, because I really like strikers in MMA, because I'm by myself a striker. But I think that the biggest thing that we're going to see this Friday is that she never faced an opponent like me before, and that's going to be the biggest difference from all her other fights. And for the rest of that, I go for myself for the win. But for the rest, seeing her and seeing myself, it's like we are strikers, but still different levels, different fighting style also. But the thing that we both have is the fight IQ, and fight IQ comes together that we will see this Friday. So it's going to be a good fight.
One last one from me. It's a big story in the Netherlands that farmland is being bought up by the government. Do you have an opinion on that?
Sorry, farm?
That the Netherlands government is buying up all the farmland. I was wondering what your feelings are on it.
The political things that are happening in Holland, I don't really like getting involved with that, because if I have to be honest, I'm not really having that much information from both sides. So that's what I think, okay, then I'm not going to involve in kind of political things that I don't have the knowledge about. So the government is doing that, for every people that wants to earn money and wants to give people food, it's terrible that things will happen. But I think if we see all of the world, things will happen that are terrible, So if it doesn't influence myself and I cannot involve and give power to something to change it, then I leave it to other people that maybe that they could change that.
Thank you.
Denise, right here. Obviously, fighting Dakota comes with a lot of extra noise, extra attention, probably extra doubters. I guess how do you shut out all that noise, or do you embrace it and use it as motivation?
Yeah, I embrace it. For now, being the underdog, I'm totally fine with that. And all the doubters that have doubts about me or telling me why is she standing there, I really are okay with that. In this position, I know that what I can do, and I know that my fighting style and my motivation getting more of doubters. So being in the underdog position is really what I like, and that's also what's going to show the best part of me. So I'm fine with that.
And then you said that you bring something different to the table than any of Dakota's opponents. You also mentioned your striking obviously people know Dakota for her striking. Do you feel like your striking is actually better than Dakota's here?
I will not say better, but different. You know, like she's also good, I'm also good, but we are different strikers. And the thing is that I know my qualities, and I know that I'm not afraid to fight and stand up with her, and you know, because everything that she does I already see in my fighting experience, so nothing is new for me. And that's just going to be the big difference, you know, and that's why I say that she never fought an opponent like me before, because everything she does, I already experienced that in my kickboxing career and also in MMA, so.
Last one from me. Liz Carmouche kind of waiting in the shadows for the winner of this fight, for the title fight, I would assume. Do you agree with that? Do you think that is the next fight for the winner? And how do you see that fight going against you and Liz if that happens?
Well, Liz Carmouche, she's not like the veteran in MMA, and I totally understand that she's waiting for this fight. But you know, PFL arranged this fight, and PFL see this fight as the co-main event for this Friday. So yeah, all the respect for Liz Carmouche, but I think that PFL have to decide what her next fight will be. And for me, my focus is now only on Dakota, and for the rest we will see. But for my opinion, is now only this Friday.
Nice.
Yes.
Denise, it's an honor to have you here. What does it feel competing and fighting on PFL, one of the most prestigious companies in MMA here in New York at the UBS Arena?
Well, I fought a couple of times here in New York, and being here again, and what I already said, like PFL, the biggest platform in women's, in MMA, in all over the world. And I know how many eyes are watching this Friday, this fight, and all the fights on this card. So being here and being on this card is just like, feels amazing, you know, like, and also really thankful to show everyone what my qualities are. So yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
Right. And the other question that I have for you is, one of my colleagues mentioned age, right, versus Dakota, and that's a common thing that's mentioned in combat sports between the younger fighter as opposed to the older fighter, and how each of them have an advantage. The younger fighter, quote unquote, sometimes being a fresher, and the older fighter having experience. Where does your experience come into play in this fight?
You know, like my experience, like I'm the older fighter, I see so many different things already in my MMA career. I win, I was also at the top of the top, and then I lost, you know, and then I came back. I came back from an injury, I came back from losing fights, and then look where I'm standing right now, you know, and that's the mental part that gives me adventure, that I see everything, and still I'm standing here. So the younger fighter who has no loss at all is just living, you know, from the ego mind that say, okay, I'm good. But I also have my experience, and the ego mind, I already experienced that sometimes my fights went not that well, you know. And then I built myself up, going back to the gym, going to prepare myself mentally, and now I'm standing here again with 3 wins after each other and standing against the top of the top. So that is also something that experience in my fighting career has make me more stronger than ever.
Thank you.
To follow up on a previous question, is there an extra special feeling of fighting here in the New York area on Long Island, and do you get an extra lift from the fans in New York?
Yes, for sure. You know, like I'm coming from Amsterdam, and the people here are like kind of similar to Amsterdam, you know. Everyone wants to talk to each other. We have so many different cultures, all living together, so many different food spots, and it's like the same as in Amsterdam, but then a little bit bigger, and yeah, some statues are also a little bit nicer than Amsterdam, but being here, that's why I love it here, you know, like it's being in Amsterdam, but then everything is bigger and a little bit better.
Tyler, go ahead.
Yeah.
You've been training, you know, kickboxing, judo, MMA for over a decade. What is one thing that you didn't like understand in your early career compared to now that you understand with more experience?
Well, before, you know, like I always was focusing on the fight and focusing on winning and everything that comes with it, like the road to the fight, like experience in my training, the people that I meet, you didn't even see that or you didn't even notice because you're only focusing on the fight and winning. But now with my experience, I also enjoying this, you know, seeing people like you and talk to you guys, and every journey, every step that I take to the fight is also something that I want to enjoy from, you know, and that is something that's the big difference from like fighting 10 years ago from fighting to now. I'm really experienced and enjoying every step that I take till fighting.
And another one for me. You said that stepping away from competition to become a mother finally broke you out of a deep mental rut. Looking back, how did taking that break to have your son actually save your passion for MMA?
Well, my son, you know, like also if you're fighting like so long, then you come like, you get a date, go to training, go in fight camp and fight. And that was for so long time like a routine that I didn't even notice what's different in my life. And then I get pregnant, and then my son came, and he teach me that going out of the fighting game, going out of hard training, going out in no dojo, no gym, just being in myself and being with my family, and there's so much more than only fighting, you know, and that is what he teach me. And when I step back from fighting and going back in, now I'm enjoying everything so much more because of him, because he showed me that there's so much more than only fighting. I'm not a fighter, I'm just Denise who loves to fight. And that's what the one thing he teach me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your nice question.
And I have a bit of a follow-up for that one. I saw in one of your Instagram posts, you said one of the greatest titles you ever held is being his mom. Is he in Amsterdam right now, or did he make the trip?
No, he's in Amsterdam. Yeah. He's like 1.5 years old, so he's still too young to understand what's all going on here. So being in Amsterdam and staying with my family, that's the best thing right now for him, because he don't really understand what I'm doing right now. And when he gets older, I definitely want to involve them with the journey that we're taking here. You know, like I'm here also with my husband, so this is like a family business. So he has to be here also when he gets a little bit older.
Yes, definitely one day. Denise, you are such an inspiration to the women in this community. We all vicariously live through your fighter spirit. And to me, it's so interesting because you title yourself as a striker, which obviously is the greatest strength, but also the judo is so entertaining to watch. You get girls to the ground and pound, and have submission wins as well. So do you feel like you're the more well-rounded fighter coming into this matchup?
You know, like I think that the best thing in this fight, and also with my experience, is that I don't compare myself to my opponents. You know, I know what I can do, and I'm focusing on that. And it's not something that I see, oh, I can do and she cannot do that. You know, because you don't know what she can do, and you don't know her game plan. But I know my game plan. I know my qualities. And yes, I can also be on the ground and still on my feet. I can do everything I want. I just let everything in the universe let it go like it went to. And sometimes, you know, like even in a fight, I don't even remember what I did. And I saw the video back and, oh, I did this and I did that. So fighting is like when they close the doors from the cage, it's like a totally different feeling being up there, you know. And sometimes it's you don't even know that you are there, because it's like emotions of everything that's going on right there. And like I said, like I can go to the ground, I can go anything I go, but the one thing I don't do is to compare myself with my opponents.
And this is such a highly anticipated match, originally scheduled for February 7th. What do you think this match finally happening on Friday is going to say for women's MMA?
Yeah, this is like, you know, like Dakota, she's also like the star, you know, and I think she is a good example of women fighters, because normally they see women fighting, okay, you know, but now we are feminine, we can stand for ourselves, we can speak for ourselves, and that's also something that she stands for. And being in that quality and with my qualities, and to give this fight a hype, that it will bring more eyes to this fight, and that also people can see that, wow, women really can fight and look also really beautiful, you know. So that is the big hype for this Friday, because I know for sure that a lot of people will watch, and they will watch, and they really gonna enjoy this fight. Thank you for the question.
Anyone else?
So like she said, you had such a long way off coming into this fight. You finally do have the title shot now. This fight was supposed to happen in February, gets canceled, you have to fight a different opponent. You finally fight the other opponent, finally gets rebooked. Just been a lot happening here within your career within the past couple of months. Does it throw you off that this fight got canceled and then rescheduled again? Or do you kind of like having that extra time just because there's so much going on and it's such a big fight? Is that extra time meaningful to you, or is it something that you would rather just get in there and get this fight done?
No, you know, the last time in February, I was like out for 2.5 years because of my pregnancy and being a mother. So I think that being in the cage, the whole fight camp, everything went good, but then being in the cage, you feel, hey, wait, we're all here, we're again here, like 2.5 years have passing, so many things, so many emotions, different opponents. So at the end, I was really happy that then the fight against Dakota was scheduled for this time, because now having the experience again and feeling the warmth of the cage again, that is so much different if you are for 2.5 years away. So the time that has passed, and also the time that I've got to the day this Friday, I'm really happy that now the Dakota fight is right now and not in February. So everything happens for a reason.
Thank you.
Just to add on to that, after the fight got canceled in February, was this a matchup that you were super excited for and really wanted to get rebooked when the time was right?
Yeah, because you know, like the funny thing is that when I labored my son, I think 2 months after, I got a call from my manager, and they say, hey, PFL, do you want to come back, and do you want to fight Dakota? So I was 2 months with my baby, and I thought, yes, of course I want to go back and come back for the #1, you know. So she was like also my motivation to come back in fighting. So when the fight happened in February, I was really happy, but then I got another opponent, and I think it's good that first I got another opponent coming, really feeling the experience again in the cage, and now we're standing here this Friday. So yeah, what I said, everything happens for a reason, and Dakota is really on a long way in my mind already.
So at that point you got a new contract, is that what you're saying? Like for the first Dakota fight, that they brought you back and you got a new contract?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
So right now this is like a regeneration of your career, like.
Yeah, this is really the right thing to say. Yeah, the re-engage for my career. Yeah, and I'm also really happy to be in PFL. You know, because being 2.5 years away and watching like the $1 million tournament, because I was also in the $1 million tournament, and then when before we go to the States, I saw that I was pregnant. So seeing from the sideline how the tournament went and how the whole division is moving, that gives me like motivation to also want to be in that spot and also want to be in the top 10 and going back there and to fight. So yeah, I'm really happy to be here in PFL also.
And last question for me, yesterday I think you had your first face-off of the week, right, with Dakota. What were your takeaways from that? Did you feel any tension or anything when you were having that face-off?
Yeah, you know, I think that we both, like, when we saw each other's eyes, that we know what we can do, you know. I think that she knows my game really well, and I also know her game really well. And I really feel that in the face-off that, okay, this Friday we will bring the best out of each other, you know. And that is also something that I really felt yesterday. And that's after the face-off, I'm so much more excited because the face-off is the first touch that you have with your opponent. And after that, I was so happy that, okay, now it feels like, okay, let's go. Because I was thinking about these fights for so long, and now we're standing to each other in my best shape ever. So I'm just ready to fight, you know. I'm gonna give everything this Friday in the cage, because I know where I come from, and I know what I've been through. And what I said, like Dakota, was the first thing that I heard when I was having my child. And to being here this Friday, I will fight really till the end, and I will really going to fight with her in every possible way. Just fight.
I know I said it would be the last one, but one more. Like, are you kind of like looking past the victory in terms of what this means for you as a person, as a human? Like, if you get that victory, it's gonna add on to a lot of, or lead on to a lot of big fights, championship belts and stuff like that. But what it does for you as a person.
You know, like as a fighter, you always want to fight the number one, because if you're fighting the number one and you win, you know where you're standing, you know. So I know where I'm standing this Friday if my hands goes up. And that's also something, you want to fight the best. Otherwise, you're not a fighter, you know. You don't want to pick your opponents. You always want to fight the best. And that's always what I did in my whole career. You know, even if I'm smaller, I'm lighter, I'm the striker or something, I always fought the best. And that is something that I want to continue. So fighting this Friday the best is also going to bring the best out of me. And that is something that's my motivation. That's why I'm still standing here in my 37 years old. Young.
Thank you. Denise, not to look past this weekend, but with you talking about your home nation before, how much would the opportunity to feature on a future event in the PFL in Amsterdam mean to you?
Wow, that will be so great, because I remember that with Bellator there was, but then Corona came, that there was a schedule planned for Amsterdam, for an event in Amsterdam. But then Corona came, and then everything, the plans go away. But now if PFL just want to go to Amsterdam, I think it will be like crazy house, you know, because we have so much talent in Amsterdam, so much talent fighters in Holland, that I think that this card will explode. And we got a lot more fighters from Amsterdam, also like the champion Costello, he's also from Holland. So I think a card in Amsterdam will be really great for PFL. And I hope in future that will go so.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you so much, Denise, for your time.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna take the next door.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Were you just saying because my screen went weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because my buddy put the Instagram live on.
Yeah,
I looked at that, I was like, what the hell?
All right, guys, we got Archie here. Archie's gonna go first for this one.
Good morning, Archie. I remember talking to you in hallways in Chicago 3 years ago about how you were going to be a champion.
Yeah.
Well, here you are.
Yeah.
That was your time. So I'm happy for you. You finally had the first title fight of your career.
Yeah.
How's fight week been? How do you feel?
It's been good. Yeah, we got an Airbnb for the first time, and we're staying, it's like 10 minutes from here. Team's all together. I think actually Coach Sharp gets in tonight. But the team's all together. I mean, we're having a good time. Fight week's been good.
Obviously, it's been a long time coming. What was your reaction when they first called you and said, Archie, you're fighting for the title against Usman?
You know, they had mentioned that before in different situations, so I was like, you know, I want to make sure this is real this time. And then, you know, a couple of different feelings, I guess. I had the excitement of finally getting the opportunity, but also, you know, just the nerves that come with you know, getting that first contract or that getting a fight contract or getting that call, you know, you get, regardless of who it is, once they finally give you a call and let you know that you're fighting against a blank opponent, you always get that kind of, those nerves in your stomach. So that came with it, but there's also the excitement of the reality of finally getting the opportunity.
So 8 years ago, you fell short in becoming an All-American wrestler. It's been something that's hung over your head. You've been very vocal about it since then. If you go out there and you beat Usman Nurmagomedov and become the champion, can you finally let go of that? Will you finally be able to move on? Or are you always going to use that as motivation for yourself?
I think that I have let go of the fact that I'm not an All-American or that I fell short of that goal. But yeah, I think that chip and like the chip on the shoulder of that isn't the fact that I didn't get the accomplishment of being an All-American. It's the fact that I had all the tools and abilities to be that, and I let myself fall short of it. You know, it was that I didn't go out there and perform the way that I could and the way that I should to be in that position to become an All-American. It wasn't so much the accolade, it was the fact that I let myself down.
Gotcha.
So going out there, winning a world title, it has nothing to do so much with the All-American, but it would prove that I believe in my abilities and what I'm capable of, and going out there and producing and showing myself that I have made the growth that, you know, I fully trust myself.
Yeah, definitely. So you had your first face-off with Usman yesterday. Got to see him and that belt up close. What did you feel in him? What was going through your head during that face-off? Just what's the vibes there?
Yeah, I would say maybe before this week, maybe after seeing some like things online, just interviews and stuff, I would say maybe that he was looking past me. And yesterday when I looked him in the eyes, he's not looking past me. You know, he's aware of the task that he has at hand. In me, I have his full respect. I can feel it, I can sense it, I can see it. Yeah, we're in store for a good night.
And last one for me, you helped Justin Gaethje complete one of the best moments in MMA history, you know, winning the lightweight title at the White House, obviously, incredible moment. Now he's here with you for this fight week. How much does it mean to go out there, be training with him for years, and then see him accomplish his goals, and then now have him alongside you while you go to accomplish yours?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. Like, we have a great team over at Onyx, and it's, I mean, a lot of high-level people, and a lot of people come and train, but like the core of the group is like, you know, it's a small group. So we have kind of like a tight-knit family kind of style over there. And, you know, the fact that he's out here with me is, I mean, it feels really good. I think to the outside, it would be like a really big deal. And obviously it's a big deal to me, but it's just kind of like, you know, that's what you do for your family. You know, you're there for them. He has a fight, you know, his fight was technically during my camp. So, you know, in one extent, I could be like, you know, I'm not gonna go because I have my own camp. But, you know, that opportunity to be out there with him, for that moment was like really important to me and the team. And I assume the same for him, you know, being out here for me, for our team is really important to him. So it means a lot being out there and watching him defy the odds in a very similar situation. You know, the world is kind of stacked against him in that, against Ilya. Everybody, he's the big underdog. Everybody thinks he's going to lose against the undefeated guy. You know, I'm also undefeated, but you know, the parallels are there. And I'm not saying it's copy and paste by any means, but blueprint has been laid, and that, you know, inspiration is there. So I'm inspired.
Thank you, Archie. Can't wait for Friday night.
How excited are you to be here in the New York area, here on Long Island, and, you know, fighting at UBS Arena? And do you think the New York crowd gives you a little extra lift when you guys are here?
Yeah, I think I'm excited to be out here in New York. You know, I've been to New York a couple of times, but I've never fought here. Obviously, anybody in the world knows that New York is like a staple of, you know, cities in the world, but obviously, you know, the biggest, one of, if not the biggest in the States. So it's great to be out here for such a big event in my career, but for the company as well. And then headlining it for a world title, I mean, it's great. I'm excited.
Archie,
quick question.
Yep.
They say that when opportunity meets preparation, that's when success happens. It's been a long time coming, man, like you said earlier in the interview. You've been called on a couple times, right? And things sometimes fall out. How does it feel right now, finally sitting in the moment and processing all these feelings that you're fighting for the world title, man?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just I have to go out there and fight another man.
Right.
And it'll be the last fight of the night. It'll be 5 rounds, so 2 additional rounds. It'll be, the guy is, a better opponent than I faced. But at the end of the day, it's me versus one other person. I try my best to not make it any bigger than that. It's not me versus a corner. It's not me versus a name. It's me versus one other man who has to get his hands wrapped and walk into that cage the same way that I do, who's going to get tired just like I will, and who believes in himself just like I do. So, I'm excited to be out there and to perform in that situation, but I'm not making this fight any more hype than I need to.
And where would you say, because I do believe that in any combat sport, whether it's MMA, boxing, each fight is a learning lesson, right? There's a learning curve to each one. Where do your fights be a unanimous decision against J.J. Wilson as well as Mansour come into play, as far as your development leading up to this fight?
Yeah, I think those fights were necessary and needed for me. I'm a religious man, God-fearing man, so to me, God is just preparing me for what it is that I need. Like at the time, last year when I fought Mansour, PFL had stated this is the #1 contender fight. The winner will fight Usman, and then they announced that Paul Hughes was getting the fight, and I was upset, frustrated about it. But in hindsight, sitting in this moment now, it just wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't. That wasn't the plan that God had in store for me, and now, 8 months later, I'm sitting here with the opportunity, and I think that now is the correct time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Archie right here. Obviously an MMA fight, but USA, Russian wrestling kind of got a little theme here.
Yeah.
Does this fight hit the canvas, do you think? Does USA wrestling come out on top there?
Does this hit the canvas if we start? Yes. This is going to include grappling. He's a wrestler, or he has good wrestling, grappling. I have good wrestling, grappling. At some point, for sure, this is going to hit the mat, yeah.
And you said Usman doesn't seem to be looking past you. I've talked to him. I would say the same thing. He's very focused on this fight. But a big storyline here is his last fight on the contract, free agency next, yada, yada, yada. Where I'm going with this is, if you win, do you take all that free agency stock for yourself? Like, what does that do for your career trajectory?
Well, I think I'm not taking his free agency stock. Well, I mean, I guess you could look at it that way, but I'm in a contract, so it's just like I'm taking it and then riding that high into my own free agency by any means. I'm in my own contract, and what it does, what a win for me does, is it just solidifies what I know to be about myself and what my team knows to be about me, and just produces that to the world, and I believe a new star is born.
Thank you.
Archie, looking across the octagon and seeing Habib and Islam in the corner, is there going to be any intimidation factor from that on your behalf?
I mean, like I said just a little bit ago, it's like I'm not trying to make this fight thing, this situation, be any bigger or different. Obviously, that's going to be very good aura around the fight and excitement for the fight, but at the end of the day, I'm not fighting a corner. I'm not fighting a name. I'm fighting one human being who's taking the cage just like I am, who's going to have nerves just like I will, and we're both going to have the opportunity to go test our skills against each other.
Just a little lighthearted. I work at Complex. I noticed you're a sneaker guy. The other day you were wearing the undefeated Air Jordan 4s.
Yeah.
You're also undefeated. Is there any sort of double entendre in that?
Kind of, yeah. So actually, I had this shoe sponsor, and for my last fight, he sent me those because of the undefeated. They had just dropped like a couple months prior, and he's like, I got the perfect shoe for you. And then he sent me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Let's go Tyler real quick.
So people say Usman is almost like untouchable and in his career. When you look at his tape, what is one flaw in his game that you feel other opponents weren't able to take advantage of and you will be able to?
Good question. I think that his maybe like past opponents have tried to sit there and express that they see all of these holes that they can fill and they're gonna do this and that. And the truth is, you know, he's very good and he's well-rounded and he's a, you know, multi-time world champion. So I would be lying if I sat here and was like, hey, look, my team found all of these little things and, you know, he's very good, he's very well-rounded. But the truth is that I am also undefeated and I have never lost a round in MMA. And what I have to do is believe in my conviction in myself and that I can do all of the things that I believe that I can do, that I have done to my past opponents, to my next opponent. And that's what I have to do.
You've spoken beautifully about how your kids grow up in the gym.
Yeah.
And can see literally your sweat equity since they are old enough to understand what you do. Headlining a world title, what does headlining a world title fight feel like? You're writing the ultimate blueprint of hard work for them?
Great question, yeah. Any question involving my kids makes me happy, so good job, Tyler. Yeah, I mean, my sons, if you see my sons, they're just like, they love being in the gym, you know, especially my older one, because he's been around it longer. He'll be 5 soon. And he's honestly like a copy-paste version of myself. He does, walks, talks, acts just like me. So for me to show them hard work physically firsthand, my ideal is that they will just live that lifestyle. They won't know any different. They won't like know that they can be lazy. They won't know that they can not having discipline is a choice. Like it's just what we do. That's how life is. And I believe I have a great opportunity to do that with my kids because that's what I do. That's what I live my life, and that's what they see. You know, I make the decisions to be like, you know, my kids, if you ask them about McDonald's, it's not that we don't eat fast food ever, but McDonald's specifically, if you ask them about McDonald's, they say it's poison. I'm like, you know, I'm not, you know, they don't need to sit there and eat that. But I'm not saying we don't. We have Chick-fil-A, we eat other things, but we don't eat at McDonald's, you know? So my kids, they know that, and that's just part of them now, right? And I hope that the other decisions that I have made and continue to make and will make for the rest of my life of discipline will wear into them, and then they just will have that. Just like, you know, 2 + 2 is 4, right? They'll just know that you have to wake up and work hard and be disciplined and do these things, and that's just life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Archie, so going back to the beginning, what made you choose wrestling?
Well, my brother came home with a flyer to the local wrestling club when he was like probably 7 years old, and I was 4. And I was just a little brother who copies his big brother. So he came home with a flyer and asked my dad, hey, can I wrestle? My dad said, yeah. And I was like, hey, if my brother's going to wrestling, can I wrestle? My dad was like, yeah. That was it.
So one of the big things about wrestling is weight cutting.
Yeah.
At this point, even though, you know, you're still relatively early in your career, how tough is it for you to get down to 155?
Yeah, I mean, it's never fun. I would say right now, this week, I feel like currently right now, I feel better than the typical day of weight cut. But, you know, once you get to the last 4 or 5 pounds, it always sucks. You know, there's no way around it. Even if, you know, you cruise all the way down to the last 4 pounds, those last 4 pounds are going to be miserable.
Now, not looking past this weekend, but is there a space in your contract where you could possibly take a fight at RAF?
Yeah, I haven't explored that or asked that, but I'm pretty sure that's definitely a thing that is doable and something that I am interested in.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Archie, I asked this to your teammate Bryce Meredith last week.
Yep.
It's been about 7 years now since you've made that transition from wrestling to MMA.
Yep.
I just want to know, what's that transition been like, and how do you think fighting compares to wrestling?
Well, I think fighting is more exciting than wrestling. Just like to watch for one, but two, just to like train it every day. You know, wrestling is really repetitive. There's not, you know, fighting, I can box today, kickbox, jiu-jitsu, wrestle, strength train. You know, wrestling is just like strength train, wrestle. That's it. You know, so I would say fighting is more fun, but wrestling is definitely harder. Man, wrestling is brutal. You know, I wrestle 1 or 2 times a week, and that's like all I want. I used to wrestle 6 days a week, you know, 2-3 hour practices for 5 of those days. It was like a lot of work. And now I got an hour 15 practice, and I'm like, whoo, that was a hard day. I couldn't imagine doing it back and forth. You know, wrestling is like the fundamental for the hard work for me.
For a lot of fighters, wrestling was obviously their first love. So do you miss it, especially college wrestling, because there's nothing like it, or does fighting fill that void for you?
No, I don't miss it. I love wrestling, I really do. And like part of me, I guess if you really asked like wishes that with my current mindset, I could redo my last couple seasons and then ideally get the accomplishments that I am capable of. But nah, I'm okay. I don't want to wrestle in college again. I mean, it was a lot. It was just so much work, no recognition. You know, it's like college wrestling is great, and it's something that I needed for sure to be here and be this successful, but I don't miss it to want to go back.
Now, you're going up against a dangerous, undefeated opponent for the lightweight title. Your teammate, good friend, Justin Gaethje, he was recently in a similar position against an undefeated fighter for the lightweight title. He came out victorious. Does that boost your confidence going into this weekend?
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's like championship blueprint. You know, we're in the same room doing the same workouts, prepared the same. It has shown its successes in him, and not everything is copy paste, right? You know, MMA math isn't always just add up that way. But you would be a fool to have that blueprint in front of you and then not be inspired and believe that that is the blueprint or a blueprint.
Now, obviously, you're undefeated as well, so you clearly have a strong skill set. How do you think your weapons inside of that cage compare to Usman's?
I believe I'm going to win.
Thank you. Good luck.
Archie, right here. I saw on a recent podcast, I forget which one, I know you did a few of them, but you were speaking about how you have everything that he has. Striking, grappling, wrestling, world championship, fighters in your corner, everything. So how confident are you that you're his toughest test, and why? What about you makes you his toughest test?
I don't think anybody else that he's fought can say those things, right? I mean, you know the people he's fought as well. Do you think anybody else can say those exact things that I said in that interview, what you just said?
I think you got the most check boxes.
Yeah, you know, so it's like box for box, wrestle, grapple, strike. World champion, being forged under people who are world champions, being forged by people who are world champions, you know, having a championship coach, world championship coach who's watched over your career. He's got Javier's, and mine been watching over my career. I got Trevor Whitman. Like, I believe in those things, and I don't think anybody else has had those things where they could like be like, okay, you're undefeated, I'm undefeated. You haven't lost, I haven't lost. You know, nobody else has been able to do that. And obviously, I'm not saying that sitting here and being like that wins the fight by any means. You know, I got to go out there and fight. You got to go out there and fight. But nobody's been able to come in with that same confidence that they have all the boxes checked.
And you and Usman, you guys combined record 34-0 in terms of professional at least. Talk to me about the caliber of this fight, like two of the best lightweights in the world, if you ask me, right?
Yeah, me too. I agree with that. I think that he has undoubtedly proved himself to be in that position as one of the best lightweights in the world. And I think I'm under the radar, but I believe that I'm also one of the best lightweights in the world. And on Friday night, I'll prove that, and it won't be so much under the radar anymore.
Do you like that? Because I feel like we haven't seen it too much of your in your career, the underdog kind of spot. Do you embrace this position?
Yeah. I I don't pay attention too much to it, you know, because again, like, you just gotta go out there and fight, right? Whether you're the underdog or not. Like, I don't pay too much attention to it. But I've been an underdog, I think one other time against Mansour. I think I was an underdog there as well. Had a great performance, my best performance.
Last question right here.
Archie, when you sit back and realize that, like you said, it's been only 7 years since you made the transition to MMA. It's only your 5th year and change as a professional fighter. You're 13-0, now challenging for the PFL Lightweight Championship, training with some of the best, coached by some of the best. Does it surprise you how fast it's all been? Is it kind of ever surreal when you really think about it?
Yeah. You know, it was like, it feels like, not yesterday, but it feels like only a year or two ago, I was sitting there joking with Justin about before practice, wrestling practice. I was 27, and I think he was 34, and I was like, does wrestling practice feel the same at 34 when you're 27? And he was like, oh man, fuck you. He was like all mad about it. And before I know it, you know, I just turned 31 last week. You know, so these things have been flying by. This career has been flying by. I still have, I think, based off my conversations with my coaches and stuff, I don't even think I'm in my prime yet. Even though 31 might say that you are, I think my prime years are going to be like 33 to 36. If you know, my coaches who have seen people's careers unfold, you know, if they're right, you know, I think my prime years are going to be like 33 to 36. So I'm approaching that, and it's gone quick, and man, we've been making the most of it for sure. I'll say that for sure. We've been making the most of it. I've been active. I work hard every day. Yeah, it's been fun.
And then just building off that real quick, your teammate obviously accomplished the feat of an American becoming champion in the 250th anniversary of this country. You had another one in the UFC as well. What would it be to add to that? Obviously, you wear the flags on your sleeve. As a proud American, I'm sure that would have to be an awesome accomplishment.
100%. I'll be wearing 2 flags, but I am very proud to be an American, born and raised here, made my wrestling career, made my life. That's where my family has like made their journey in life and everything, and myself included. So I'm very proud to represent the United States of America. And it's gonna feel great when I'm out there and get to represent as United States champion.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Archie. Appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
I'm going to take you right next door. You go first this time. Yep.
Do I need to put that on?
Nope, you're good.
Hi guys, sorry I'm late.
You're good. Hi, Dakota. Hi, Dakota. How are you? Happy fight week.
Thank you.
So Denise was just in here. Nothing but respect from her end. I'm just curious. You guys had your face off. What are your thoughts on Denise and just the fight now that it's fight week?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's been a little bit different because I'm used to like the girls talking shit, honestly. They're normally like slagging me off in fight week, but it's been nice to have a little bit of respect. But yeah, I mean, both of us will be very different when we get in the cage, so I know that no matter how respectful we are, we're both here to do one job and just to fight each other. So.
And she said she's an opponent that has stuff that you've never seen before, that none of your opponents have brought to the table. Do you agree with that at all? Do you think there's, like, I guess, any path to victory or advantage that Denise has?
Possibly, yeah. I'm not underestimating that. You know, I think any opponent that I get in with, I expect to bring something different because we're not all the same fighters. So, yeah, I think the good thing about me though is that I can adapt very well to whatever style. You know, you've seen me fight grapplers, you've seen me fight strikers. Like, I know Denise is going to bring more aggression than anybody else I've fought, but at the same time, I think I'll deal with it fine.
And I know you're all focused on Denise, but I'd be a fool not to ask just because Liz Carmouche got it done, maybe waiting on the sidelines for the winner here. Do you still feel like that's the title fight to make?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. When I win on Friday, that's probably the fight that they'll make, unless she wants to move up to 135, I don't know.
And then just two quick ones from me. Everybody asks you and talks about you and Kayla Harrison training together.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone actually asked you about you guys being injured together. I think you guys kind of were both sidelined at the same time. Like,
yeah.
Was that helpful at all to have Kayla, like a mentor, being injured with you, helping you get through that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we talk to each other and like check in type thing, but I think she was out in the gym a lot and I was traveling, I was in the gym, I was kind of like here, there and everywhere, so we don't bump into each other too much, but it's just, I mean, like social media, we're both very active on social media, we're both very honest, so Kayla's like documenting her journey back, and it's nice to see like other athletes expressing like, you know, like how they're feeling with their own injuries. I think it's nice to relate to somebody, so in that kind of aspect it's nice, but we haven't as such like bonded over injury because I don't think both of us want to kind of like dwell too much on that. We're both very, you know, positive and we're just trying to get back to how we were.
And then last one, I don't need crazy details, but with the hand injury, do you get like any titanium in there? You got like fist of steel now?
Fist of steel beforehand, it's just that they had a bit of a moment. But no, they're all good, they're all fine. You'll see on Friday night that I'm punching just as hard, if not harder now, so.
Thank you.
Tyler, go ahead.
This is Dakota.
Hello.
This is a widely known as a heavy striking match or a dream matchup for people that like striking. While you respect Denise's legendary kickboxing background, your MMA striking is on a whole different level. Where specifically do you feel your striking outclasses her?
Oh, I just think all around, I just think we're both very high level strikers for sure. I just think my game is just maybe a little bit of a level above hers, you know, no disrespect to her, but I feel like I can bring a lot more to the table. Definitely think my height advantage, although she's fought a lot of taller people in her whole career, I don't think she'll quite be able to handle mine.
You've been incredibly candid about the fact that recovering from your hand surgery wasn't just a physical battle, but a major mental fight to trust your power again during training. Now that you're standing on the brink of this massive co-main event, what was the exact breakthrough moment where you finally let go of that fear and are able to go 100% back?
I think it wasn't an exact moment, it took a little bit of a process. So like when I first went back to training, I'm not really someone that will like express and moan too much about like, oh my hand or like type thing. So I kind of just go through it myself and feel like I get back to how I used to be through my own kind of actual physical training. So it was when I got back in the gym and I started to use my hand, and then I'm proving to myself that actually I'm feeling no pain here, or oh, I used to grapple like this before, or I could do this grip before and now I can do it again. Like it was that type of thing. It wasn't like a specific moment where I was like, woke up in the morning, this feels great type thing. Yeah, I was just proving it to myself, and I think that's how I kind of look at most things, is that like everything is through evidence, and people talk to me about like loads of other things like, oh,
what do you think about losing or something like that? And I'm like, I ain't got no evidence of losing in MMA, so it's not something I'm going to focus on. Right now I'm training, I've got no pain, so why am I going to focus on my hand being sore? That's not really the mindset that I ever go through. So it was never a specific moment, it was just a case of like getting back to training and like doing the things I used to do and feeling like I was hitting hard. I think at one point I hit pads with my brother and I was like, did you feel that? Like I felt like strong again. So it's little things like that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There's a clip I see going around about you online all the time with Joe Rogan talking about GF's chicks up. What was it like the first time you saw that and your reaction to it?
Yeah, it was funny because I didn't actually see the podcast straight away myself. It was everybody else like commenting, somebody commenting under my post to say, oh my God, Joe Rogan just mentioned you. Then other people were like messaging me and stuff, and I was just like, wow, like obviously everybody loves Joe Rogan, like a lot of people want to be on his podcast and stuff, so to see him talking so highly, someone so experienced in the sport and someone around so many amazing athletes to talk like that about me was really nice.
And just last one, going through your Instagram, it's all abs, abs, abs. do you think you have the best abs in MMA?
I don't really care if I do or I don't, that's not a comment I want to answer.
Dakota, back here. So I know you don't want to talk about the hand injury, but
Yeah.
what's more deflating? Getting injured with your hands, needing it for your livelihood, or losing the darts against Ariel Helwani yesterday?
Oh, losing the dart for sure. I can't get that one back. I still won in my fight when I broke my hand, but I'm not getting that loss back, am I?
Because you consider yourself, and you're playing with it, being the golden child,
Yeah.
are you in the ears of John Martin and management here of who to possibly bring in next as a free agent?
No. Like, I don't really speak to John Martin. I see him in Fight Week, lovely guy. I think it's amazing what he's doing with PFL at the moment. But as for like speaking to him about like what direction the flyweight division goes, that's not something that I have any control over. The one thing I did say when I re-signed my new contract with PFL was that you need to bring more flyweights in that are going to give me some competition. And I think it's safe to say they pretty much did that. I think they've signed a lot of flyweights. There was a lot of new competition coming in. Obviously, I've been on the sideline watching it all, but it's been good. You know, they stuck to their word, and that's all I can say. I don't make any decisions within PFL.
One last one from me. At the face-off yesterday between the two of you, did you read anything in her eyes?
No. And I never really do, honestly. It's like, you don't know who's going to turn up on the day, and I'm not really bothered about what she looks like right now. It's when she gets across the cage, so.
Thank you.
Dakota, I know it's been over a year since your last fight, but I'm just curious to know, besides getting back to training all that, did you do anything in between that 1 year? Any hobbies or anything new in your life that came about?
Yeah, I did a few different things. I don't know what I can say now, because it's like, well, I filmed a film, basically, my first film I was involved in. It's not out yet, but that was like the main thing that I went and did. Got a few new business ventures now. I've just launched my own water partnership. It's called Van, so that was something that I was putting a little bit of time into. I spent a lot of time with family. Obviously I live away, so it's like hard for me to be away from them for so long, so I try to go back home a lot and just like spend some time with them. I think when I'm injured, I'm in a little bit of a lower mood than I normally am, so it's nice to be around them to keep me up.
What was it like getting back to your first day at the gym when you got cleared? Did it feel like, what was it like, how did you feel?
I can't really answer that because like I'm in the gym all the time anyway, so like even when I was injured I was in the gym. It's just like a natural progress like of me using my hand more and more or changing my training, but there wasn't like a time where they were like, you can go back to the gym now. Like nobody can keep me out of the gym anyway, so yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Dakota, the paradox of youth versus experience always comes into play, right? And I had asked this question to Denise earlier. Where does her experience come against her youth? Now I'm going to reverse the question. Where does your youth come into play against her experience? Because we know as the younger, the fresher fighter with less miles in your system, you know, usually you're sharper, stronger. Talk to us about how that dynamic plays out in this fight.
Yeah, it might play out like that. I don't know. You know, it might not be a case of youth versus experience. It might be different. I think you can't really tell until you get there on the night. Like I said, I never underestimate anyone. I never kind of plan for what they're going to bring because you really don't know. Like when you get in there, that's why you have to be a fighter that's able to adapt. So maybe my youth will help, maybe it won't, we'll see.
And now, I'm gonna ask that same question, but in a different circumstance, from a mental standpoint, as the younger fighter, you know, wanting to reach that apex. Talk to us about how your mentality is going into this fight, and you know, what drives you, you know, to continue in this sport, and in this case, to you know, go and defeat Denise, and what that would mean for your career.
Yeah, I treat every fight the same, honestly. Like I have the same level of motivation with everybody, whether I've fought like a striker, a grappler, someone experienced, someone in the game a long time, somebody who hasn't. Like it really doesn't matter. Like every fight is important to me. Every person I'm getting in the cage with is dangerous, and honestly I just focus on myself and what I bring to the table, because I know that if I turn up on the night, no one's going to be there to beat me.
Thank you.
Dakota, so AJ McKee just got that fight where he's going to Ryzen, and both the PFL and the Ryzen belts are on the line. And in terms of women's MMA, only you and a Ryzen champion have records that are better than 12-0. So do you think that would be interesting to maybe, I think she's a weight class or two, maybe like an atom weight, maybe below you, but would you be willing to maybe go out to Japan and take her on and figure out who is the best of the best? Because I think in terms of all of MMA, women's MMA, you two have the best records.
She's an atom weight?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know whether that would make any sense. Like I feel like I've got a lot of flyweights that you know, like I need to go through first. Like I'm not interested in moving up or down. Like I don't need to move down and I don't need to move up. I've got enough competition here for me to prove myself at this weight. So I think that's probably what I'll focus on first. And maybe in the future we'll see like a crossover, I don't know. But at the moment, I want to be like, before anything, flyweight world champion.
And with all the comments that Liz Carmouche has about you and your career and stuff like that, and also how vocal she's been about going up to 35, do you think that fight you against her is very realistic? Because she also seems so interested in going up as well.
Yeah, it was a little bit confusing. Like I did expect her to like come on the mic and shout me out and call me out on after she had that win, but she didn't. So I'm not sure whether like the reason she's calling me out is just literally like to get views, or whether she wants a 135 division, or whether she's doing that because she's not getting the fight with me, or what. Like I don't know, but I'm open to fight Liz. Like I have no problem fighting her. It's just that right now I'm fighting Denise. PFL didn't give me Liz, so I'm respectfully not interested in anything she's got to say.
And last question, I don't know if you remember our interview in San Diego, but in the interview you had mentioned that you want to get a tattoo at some point. And the YouTube comments were crazy. They were like, "Don't get a tattoo," like lists of this. So, do you have to follow your heart on that one, or do you have to listen to the fans at all with that?
Well, it's funny because people comment on just on my normal post saying, "It's so nice she's got no tattoos," and I'm like, guys, don't be so like opinionated. But the only tattoo I really wanted was one with my mum, matching, like a little symbol matching with my mum, but she said no. So I'm not getting one.
Thank you.
Dakota, right here.
Yeah.
You're only 5 years into your MMA career yet. A lot of people already consider you to be the best female fighter on the planet.
Yeah.
And my question is, given that you've already accomplished so much so early, how much of your true potential do you think we've really seen?
Oh, not all of it, that's for sure. I still feel like I'm really young in this game. Got so much to learn. I honestly, if I'm going to be honest, don't feel like I'm a full, complete MMA fighter just yet, or not to the level that I want to be. I can grapple and I can wrestle, just answer any of those questions, but just not to the level that I want. I feel like I've got more to learn. So although I'm doing great right now, people have a lot of nice comments to say about me, I feel like I've got a long way to go yet.
Now, you've also talked about how you don't necessarily like the attention and the media that comes with being one of the best fighters in the world, but you know, the more you win, the more attention and the more fame you're going to get. So how have you been kind of handling that, and have you been kind of mentally preparing for, you know, even brighter lights?
Yeah, I just embrace the moment. I think my family definitely like keep me very grounded. I know the importance of media. I think that's the difference as well. Obviously, the world is going in a direction of a lot of big social media movement. So I have to roll with it and embrace it, but it's not. I filter a lot out, I'm going to be honest. I filter a lot out, and I hope that as I continue to grow, I can like keep the media and everything, but kind of still just slow it down at my own pace. Yeah.
Thank you. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
So you have been notable with presence on social media. What has that kind of done for your career? Oh, you got anything to talk about that?
Yeah, it's massive, and it's funny because people mock it. Like obviously, a lot of the fighters are like, "Oh, she's just like she's an influencer." Especially since I've been injured and I was out for that year, I would still continue to post and try and keep my socials moving. And I got like a little bit of stick for it in the comments, like, "Oh, she's just an influencer now," or "She's just like she never posts any training content." But it's so important that like I keep my image on the internet. You know, you can't let like everything I'm building, even through the fighting, I can't let that kind of just go when I get injured and not post. So like, I feel like people are just gonna have to get used to it because it's me. Like what you see on social media, like it's not just about fighting. I'm a normal person as well, and I like to show that. And I think, especially now I've done YouTube and I've started posting more vlogs, people have seen like I'm not like somebody that's just posing on Instagram like that. It's just me, who I am as a person, and people are starting to understand that a little bit more now.
Dakota, right here.
Yes.
So you got interviewed by Charles Barkley the other day. I think it might have been yesterday, actually. I saw it somewhere on social media. But do things like that, moments like that, make you realize, damn, I came really far. I'm a pretty big star now, being talked to by people like Charles Barkley, who are massive stars in other sports?
Yeah, I know at the same time, like a privilege to be able to sit down and speak to him yesterday. Like, I was just talking about it to my brother now because the video's just been posted, and I was like, wow, like I got a few messages like, wow, you spoke to Charles? And I was like, yeah, I did. Like, but at the same time, like I don't see myself as a superstar. I was kind of like, PFL gave me an amazing opportunity because I'm here at Fight Week and that's kind of my job, but I don't see myself as like someone special sat to Charles, like that he's the main person in that, not me, type thing.
So obviously with the fame being talked about that you're not the biggest fan of, obviously there comes a lot with that. One of the things that came out a week or two ago was your contract, your pay, that whole situation.
Yeah.
You were quick to shut down those rumors, move past them.
Yeah.
Does it annoy you that like you're going into Fight Week, one of the biggest fights of your career, and you got to start going on shows and shutting down rumors about pay, about contracts, about leaving the promotion, or is that just kind of part of the fame that you don't like?
No, do you know what? It's just the sport. That's just how I see it. Like, I don't talk about it unless someone asks me. If someone asks me, that's fine, I'll answer it. But I'm a fighter. I'm not interested in what you guys think about my pay. I'm not interested in what you think about how many fights I've got left or whether I should be in PFL or not. Like, it doesn't bother. I don't kind of dwell into that. I'm here to fight on Friday, and like, I'll answer anybody's questions. I've got nothing to hide.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Okay, one more. With 5 fights left, at the end of that, with title defenses involved, hopefully, are you the PFL GOAT, if not already?
I don't know. I don't want to like say that. That's for the fans to decide. Like, I'm just here to fight, and I enjoy what I'm doing. So if it's not a goal of mine to be the PFL GOAT or just the GOAT in general. The goal of mine is to keep 16-0 by the end of Friday night, and that's what I'm here for. So after that, it will be 17-0, 18-0. Not, am I the PFL GOAT yet? Like, no, I'm the best flyweight in the world. That's what I'm interested in.
Thank you.
All right, Dakota, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you. guys.
You good now? Usman,
Yeah.
how are you? Happy fight week.
Oh, it's been like long camp, and finally I'm very happy to be here.
Well, just speaking about camp, before I actually ask about the fight, I know you guys got your camp, Islam's camp,
Yeah, we're doing
Umar's
together.
camp. What was that?
Yeah, we was together.
But just with all you guys being together, I mean, how has that preparation been with all you guys having fights booked?
Very nice energy when you have inside the camp the double champion. You can take some knowledge from him, and you can work with him, and this is where you can grow. And for this game, I think, my opinion, I grow a lot, and I'm gonna show this Friday night.
Archie was in here. I said, you know, American versus Russian wrestling. Is this going to hit the canvas? He said, of course it's going to hit the canvas. We're going to wrestle. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Actually, that guy, because of who I working a lot of my wrestling skills. Exactly this fight, I improved my wrestling skills a lot.
Now, with a win, all healthy after Friday night, do you go back to help Islam train for another week, or are you having a week off to celebrate?
We already trained when he came, like, we, in America we did like 2 good weeks, and after this fight, I think next week Islam this is last hard week for Islam, and I don't think he needs some my helps now. But I'm gonna be at fight week with him.
And then last one for me, a lot of talk about your future. I'm not asking specifically about what's next, but I'm curious, no matter what the future holds, with a win on Friday night, do you consider yourself the best Bellator PFL fighter to ever do it?
Yes, my opinion, yes.
Thank you.
I am, yeah.
Usman, you've got a dangerous opponent ahead of you. If you come out with the win on Friday night, that's going to be your 7th world title victory across Bellator and PFL. In your mind, what more would you have to do to prove that you are the true #1 lightweight in the world?
Winning my next fight.
Now, your teammate Chanko also fought last weekend. He looked great. What were your thoughts on his performance? And I'm sure being at 155 pounds as well, you guys train often together. How did those sessions go?
Yes, he did a very great job. And you know, about Chanko, this guy, he's he came from Muay Thai, and he's #1. This time when he came to our gym, he was #1 Muay Thai guy in Russia and the world now. And he came. We don't teach him a lot. We just teach him how grapple and wrestle now. But striking, this guy is already a striker now. He's the best striker for our team.
Now, across you, your brother, and your cousin Habib, you guys have 70 wins with only 1 loss. When it's all said and done, do you think that the Nurmagomedov name is going to be the greatest name in combat sports history?
My opinion, it's already. This is right now the most powerful and most grateful team ever.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks so much.
Usman, back here. So if all of you Dagestanis are so dominant inside the cage, and we all know that, who dominates the most inside the gym during training?
Habib.
Still?
Yeah.
Can you get to that 29-0?
Everything is possible if you believe.
And one last one for me. Was it part of the plan that you win the title here, you stay here, move on, and then for Usman Nurmagomedov to follow your place here?
We're gonna see after the fight.
Usman, getting your fair share of big fights, you're used to this, used to having the belt on the line, but now, not only your undefeated records on the line, Archie's also 13-0, mentioned before, combined 34-0 going into this fight. Does this matchup feel different at all to you than your past matchups?
No. I had some pressure before fight, like with when I fight with Shabli. And it's okay, you know, like I had a fight with wrestlers, I had a fight with strikers, and I beat them all. And I don't think like Friday night is giving me something like new, but I'm not prepared enough. I think it's gonna be a good fight, but I'm gonna win the show.
Usman, quick
Sorry,
question.
Hello, it's good to hear you had a good camp. You've dedicated your recent world title victories directly to your father, who was right there by your side. What did it mean to your soul to hand him the championship belt after everything he sacrificed to get you onto the global stage?
Oh, this is a really good question. You know, when I was growing, when I was a kid, like your age right now, I never fight my father on the morning time because he always go out from home early because I grew in a village and my father was working like so hard, and when Fajr time coming, like morning prayer time, my father go out and I see him only like when I go to bed and it's night time. And I know he was working all day for us, for my brother and our sisters, you know. And for me, when I dedicate the title, or like all my success, I think this is like I dedicate this all my success for my father, and this all because of him and my mother. And I really appreciate and thanks him for my father.
Another one for me. You recently mentioned that legacy comes first, but money is highly important because you have such a big family. How has your definition of fighting for family changed from when you were a teenager to being a world champion now?
Yeah. When you're champion, that's change all, you know, and you can make it life for your family easy. And of course, when you're building your legacy, money comes too, and just people like just you have to be like with your own. You cannot lose yourself. And you know, I'm trying to be with my family and be myself.
Thank you so much.
This one. There's a lot of talk online. I see a lot of posts of people saying you have the most aura out of the Nurmagomedovs. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. This is yours, not mine.
And just one more. I always see the video reposted after your win where Habib had Islam translate for you. Do you remember the first time? Do you remember that happening? What was going through your mind during that moment?
Yeah, I remember this day. It was in Dubai when I fight. No, in Abu Dhabi. When Islam translated to me, you mean?
What Islam translated for you?
Yeah, I remember that day. I remember even this fight. Abdulmanov, my uncle, he was there too. Habib, and he was sitting on the first row, and Islam was translating.
Islam did a good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Usman, what is the driving force for the Nurmagomedov last name to go after legacy and put legacy as something so important when it comes to your careers?
I don't understand the question.
Like, what is the importance of legacy, of making history for you, for the Nurmagomedov last name?
Can you say it again, please?
Yes, what is the importance of legacy and making history in the sport for the Nurmagomedov last name?
Для тебя как важно, чтобы ваша legacy осталась чистым таким, и чтобы на нуле ты как бы закончил карьеру?
Yes, this is important, of course, but you never know what's gonna happen inside the cage. And, I think our legacy, it's already built, and the legacy is like completed, you know. Like, just what we're doing, we just added some new victories inside this legacy. But if we talk about the Nurmagomedov, like Habib already did everything.
And they say iron sharpens iron. You know, you're in a gym with, you know, high-class fighters, top-tier world-class fighters. What does that do to you as a fighter as far as your skill and your mentality when you get ready for your fights?
Like when you're working with world champions like Islam, like Habib, and when you feel like you are like growing, and when you imagine how these guys are showing the inside the cage and what they show, you understand, okay, if I work with Islam or with Habib, I can like compete with them, like we can beat anyone in the world.
Thank you.
Usman, both you and Archie, you guys were fighting in Bellator well before the PFL bought it. Maybe when you were a couple years ago, did you think this fight would happen? Was there ever a thought in your mind?
When I was fighting in Bellator, he was just beginner, you know. I didn't think about it, but from my opinion, I think he still doesn't have like that experience what he need for 5 rounds and for fight the title. He have to do some couple fights for just check yourself. But there is what it is. We here 13-0 against 21-0, and we'll see what's gonna happen.
When Archie was in here a little while ago, he said that he thinks he's the closest matchup you might have ever had in terms of all the striking, the grappling, the wrestling, world championship in your world champions in your corner and everything like that. Do you see this as a very tight fight, or do you think that there's more of a gap than it seems?
To be honest, not. You know, like I'm not thinking the corners. I'm not thinking like what he can do or what I can do. But I believe like all success from God, you know, and I beginning the go to the close with like with God for asking the success for this fight, and we'll see what's gonna happen. But if we're looking like my matchup, yes, it's gonna be a good matchup, but you know, after the second round, it's gonna be like, I don't know. I know he's gonna tire it. He will tire it. He's a wrestler. He can't control his energy. Even if he will, how he gonna control all 5 rounds? He don't have any knowledge about that. We'll see what he prepare.
Thank you.
Usman, right over here. Everyone always asks you about your family, your training partners, everyone there. Obviously, you looked up to those guys, and you still do, as they're all great fighters.
Yeah.
When you were coming up, when you were younger, were there other fighters you looked up to that weren't in your gym, weren't in your family? Like, who were some of the fighters you looked up to and that you liked their style when you were younger?
John Jones. when I was growing, I like all his fights. I watches also all his fights and his IQ, like how he fight. I like, and of course Habib, how he love inside the cage, going to inside the cage and fight with the guys. You know, he really loved this. He really loved to be inside the cage. You know, some people they when they go to inside the cage, they look at all the time, they waiting for when this time gonna finish and when this fight gonna be finished. But Habib never look on each every time. He always try to enjoy, you know, like these two guys, to be honest.
Do you think John Jones has better fight IQ than Khabib?
IQ, this is like two different fighters, my opinion. In his weight class, John Jones is a good.
Thank you.
Lightweight, Habib is the greatest.
I agree, thank you.
Done?
Anyone else? Speak now? All right, awesome, Usman, thank you for your time. Yeah. Oh, yeah, can they take some photos of you with your belt, please? Thank you. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, you can say it, yeah.
Well, Mustafa, welcome to the PFL, welcome to New York. How has this fight week been for you so far?
Mustafa, bienvenue à New York, bienvenue au PFL. Comment s'est passée la fight jusqu'ici?
Everything is good, tout se passe bien. J'ai trouvé une super équipe du PFL sur place qui m'ont très bien accueilli et je suis très heureux d'être là.
Everything good, you know. I found a very great team of PFL that welcomed me very well, so I'm very happy to be here.
I know you came from Aries, you're holding the championship belt before you got here, but when you got the call to the PFL that they wanted you to come here, fight, give you a contract, all of that, what was your reaction like?
T'es le champion light heavyweight d'Arès, t'as lâché ta ceinture quand t'as eu le call de PFL pour venir ici, qu'est-ce qui t'a fait venir au PFL?
C'est tout simple parce que je veux là où se trouvent les meilleurs au monde et au PFL il se trouve les meilleurs light heavyweight au monde. Et ils m'ont très bien respecté, donc j'ai dit oui à leur offre et je suis prêt pour faire grandir l'organisation et l'amener vers le haut.
You know, when they call me, you know, only thing that matters for me is to fight the best, the very best in the world. PFL has some of the very best light heavyweight in the world, so I just want to prove to myself and prove to people I'm the very best. And also, you know, I'm here to make grow the PFL and PFL to make myself grow. So.
Oh, obviously being a guy who's from Senegal, born there, how important is this opportunity to you, being able to come to a major organization where you could potentially become the face of MMA in your home country of Senegal?
He's already. Du coup, toi qui viens du Sénégal, le fait de venir dans une grosse organisation comme celle-ci, qu'est-ce que ça représente pour toi? Parce que tu peux devenir la face du Sénégal pour le MMA, le visage du Sénégal pour le MMA.
Je pense que je le suis déjà. Je suis déjà la face du Sénégal pour les MMA, donc je dois juste continuer à performer et à représenter comme il faut le pays et le drapeau et pour rendre fiers les miens et continuer à persévérer et donner un bon exemple à la jeunesse qui va arriver plus tard.
I think I'm already the face of MMA in Senegal, but what matters is performance, so I just have to perform and to prove myself and to show people that they can achieve everything, you know. And I just need to keep the right image for the young generation there in Senegal and show them how you can succeed in life.
Now, last for me, I know for the past 12, 15 years or so, you've been over in France doing all this training and becoming who you are. So I know you're very close with Nurmagomedov as well. Can you talk to me a little bit about that relationship and kind of the climb with him?
Je sais que ça fait quelques années que tu es en Europe, en France, etc., en Belgique. On a vu que tu t'entraînais en ce moment avec Nurmagomedov notamment. Est-ce que tu peux nous expliquer ta relation avec lui et comment est-ce que lui t'a fait grandir dans ce game-là? Qu'est-ce que tu penses de lui?
Oui, Nassourdine, c'est un grand frère pour moi. C'est une très bonne personne avant d'être un bon athlète, comme je le dis tout le temps. Il m'a pris dans ses bras, à ses côtés, et il a cru en moi. Et il m'a appris beaucoup, j'apprends beaucoup de lui. C'est vraiment un grand frère. Et c'est le meilleur au monde, c'est le meilleur modèle au monde et c'est le prochain pour le titre. Et il sera là pour le combat, il sera dans mon coin et je suis heureux de le voir à mes côtés. Et voilà.
He's my big brother, you know, he's my big brother, and before being a great athlete, he's a great human being. That's the most important. And he took me under his arm, I don't know how to say that in English. And before being the very best middleweight in the world, that he will show soon against for the belt, he's one of the very best human beings I know. And I'm very proud to have him, and he's coming today, so he will be my corner for this fight.
Thank you.
Mustafa, with your size, with your strength, with your power, 7 knockouts, 5 in the first round, what led you to choose MMA over boxing?
I think we don't have the right information here. Like he's 5-0, he can't have 7 knockouts.
That's what I said.
He's 5-0.
No, I mean overall.
I was amateur once.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, very sorry.
No
Du coup, du fait de ta puissance, ton athléticité, etc., qu'est-ce qui fait que tu as été sur le MMA et non pas la boxe? Parce que tu mets beaucoup de KO.
Ok, d'abord, je viens de la lutte. I'm a big wrestler. Wrestler is my background. I have a good coach in kickboxing, Valen Basha, is here. I training is the best teammate in Belgium of kickboxing. No, I'm happy to be in the team of Valentin. I progress every day in the striking. My background is wrestling, but I'm a Senegalese. Senegalese wrestling. I can do a Senegalese wrestling. Yes.
And last one for me.
Je le dis en français ou pas?
Okay. Did you have any nerves coming to the United States for the first time?
Est-ce que tu as un peu stressé avant de venir aux US pour la première fois? Dis-leur que non, tu as déjà même tabassé les Américains ici en sparring et tout, tu vois?
No, never. I can beat anyone in my division. Je suis déjà venu ici. J'ai déjà tabassé des gens, des Américains qui sont très bien connus, que ce soit dans les plus grosses organisations en sparring ici au States. Donc je suis pas nouveau pour eux. Eux forcément ils doivent me connaître.
It's not my first time. I came here a few times. I train and I spar with the very best here in the US and in the world, and I beat them up in sparring, and they all know. I won't mention names. They all know, and they all know my name. And that's very interesting because last time he was in the fight week with Hamzat against Strickland, and all guys coming to him because like Hamzat, Strickland, those guys coming to him because he's popular with social media and everything.
Thank you.
Mustafa, right here. So I see you wear this hat. It looks like a straw hat. I'm pretty sure it has like red and green colors on it. What is the significance of that hat and why do you wear it?
Le chapeau que tu portes, quelle est la signification derrière ça avec ses couleurs, etc. C'est quoi la signification de ce chapeau?
C'est ma tradition, c'est ma culture et c'est mis par les paysans de chez moi, les agriculteurs, les nomades, etc. Et moi j'ai envie de les représenter à travers ces chapeaux-là. C'est des gens qui ont travaillé très très dur et ils ne sont pas très valorisés. Malheureusement actuellement ils sont un peu oubliés. Et moi j'avais envie de porter ce chapeau-là qui est très stylé, qui va très bien avec mon charisme et pour les rendre hommage à ces gens-là.
That's the hat that the farmer have in Senegal, to protect themselves from the sun and from the heat. And that's the kind of things I want to show because I want to show I'm someone from downstairs and I want to show people that what you value is hard working. And this is one tool of the hard workers there in Senegal.
So the PFL has a massive presence in France, which is where you fought in Aries, became the champion over there. Were you surprised when they asked you to be on the card in the US instead of France? And is your goal to headline the PFL Paris card in the future?
Le PFL a quand même une belle présence en France. Toi, tu étais très connu là-bas. Est-ce que tu as été étonné qu'ils te mettent sur cette carte de New York plutôt que sur une carte en France? Et tu dis non, c'est une condition. Moi, je veux être une star dans le monde entier.
Non, c'est une condition. Moi, je veux être une star dans le monde entier. Et le PFL, ils le savent, je ne représente pas que la francophonie, ni l'Afrique. Moi, je fais déjà le tour du monde. Je suis déjà connu par les plus grands noms dans ce monde. Donc, ce n'est pas quelque chose qui me surprend. Je suis juste là où je dois être. Et j'ai travaillé dur pour arriver là. J'ai une équipe très solide qui travaille derrière tout ça. Donc, je suis là où je dois être.
I'm just here. I'm just where I have to be. I'm just where I have to be. And what you need to understand, guys, is it was part of my conditions, I don't want to fight in France or Belgium. I want to fight around the world. I want people to see me around the world. And I know when I move somewhere, like, people feel me. And I want people to feel me around the world.
So you brought up before that there were light heavyweights in the PFL that you were excited to face. Who are some of those light heavyweights that you want to face down the line? Who are some of the guys that you like, that you want to fight?
Tu as déjà dit qu'il y a de bons light heavyweight, etc. au PFL, lesquels que tu voudrais combattre? Est-ce qu'il y a des noms en particulier qui te parlent, etc., qui t'intéressent, qui sont intéressants?
Everybody. I can beat anyone in this category, this division. I'm here for the goal, for the belt, I take my time. I have a good team. I have a good management. But I take my time. Je dois aller tout doucement et progresser et prendre les meilleurs. Et peu importe, n'importe quelle personne de cette catégorie, je suis prêt à le battre.
Yeah, I'm not here to choose opponents. To be honest with you, and PFL knows. I'm here. They send the name, I take it, and that's it. I know I'm still young in my career, and he's only 5 years old. But he wants to grow, and As soon as PFL feels that he's ready for any challenge, he takes it. There's no problem about that, and he will take anyone, and he's sure he beats anyone right now.
Last one for me. So I see you have the blonde hair, obviously. I saw some of your fans call you Black with blonde hair. What is that? Why do you have blonde hair, and where does that nickname come from?
The nickname is Black.
Yeah.
Il a dit du coup, on t'appelle Black avec les cheveux blonds notamment. Qu'est-ce qui a mis la température pour qu'il y ait ses cheveux blonds et pourquoi on te surnomme Black?
You follow me on Instagram?
Yeah.
You see my Instagram?
Yeah.
Ça répond à ta question parce que tout ce que je montre c'est par rapport à mon image et le Black c'est vraiment pour représenter la couleur noire et montrer que je suis fier d'être noir avant tout et c'est quelque chose qui est très beau voilà qu'on a une chance d'avoir, donc moi j'ai envie de le valoriser et voilà c'est pour ça qu'il y a ce Black là, double Black.
Black is beautiful, guys. You know, black is beautiful, and that's why I'm proud to wear this nickname, because I'm proud to be black, and I want to show black is beautiful. You know, and about my color, you know, this is my style. You know, this is my style, and that's the way people recognize me. You know, it's important for me to be original. You know, to be someone recognizable easily for people, for my image.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on signing with the PFL after getting the Ares FC built. How does it feel to transition to a global American promotion, and what statement do you intend to make in your upcoming fight?
Félicitations pour ta signature. Qu'est-ce que ça fait de signer dans une promotion majeure et c'est quoi ton ambition?
Ouais, PFL, merci, thank you. PFL, c'est une très grosse ligue et c'est un honneur d'être là. Et il y a du potentiel et je vois qu'ils connaissent ce potentiel-là, ils ont vu ce potentiel-là et ils le mettent en avant dès mon premier combat, donc ça me donne beaucoup d'énergie et ça me donne envie de faire encore plus pour valoriser plus cette organisation en l'associant avec mon image et je suis heureux d'être là.
So I'm very happy to be here, I'm very proud. I trust people who trust me. So PFL trusted me, they showed me that they trusted me, they put me on this big card, they make all the right efforts. So I just have to show them that I'm proud to be a PFL fighter, one of the best organizations in the world, and to make it grow all together.
I saw in your early years you used to street fight in Senegal, which you've credited for building your raw physical and mental toughness. How difficult was the transition from that environment to an actual MMA fight?
J'ai vu que plus jeune, tu te bagarrais beaucoup, les bagarres au Sénégal, etc., dans la rue. Comment s'est passée la transition à partir de ça jusqu'au MMA? Si tu arrives à répondre en anglais, t'essayes, sinon tranquille français.
C'est compliqué.
Vas-y, français.
J'étais un enfant très turbulent, très compliqué à vivre et très nerveux. Je me battais tout le temps dans les rues. On me disait un truc, je m'énervais facilement, je tapais tout le monde. Et grâce à ça, je pense que ça a fait la personne que je suis maintenant, combattant féroce, dangereux et qui est capable d'affronter n'importe qui sans avoir peur. Et je pense que c'est cette formation-là qui fait de moi l'homme que je suis et c'est ça qui m'a amené jusque-là, je pense.
Yeah, I just think that's what made me who I am today. You know, I was a turbulent child. I found the right way to canalize everything, and that's why I'm this kind of fighter today. Aggressive, a lot of action, a lot of power, because I come from that. You know, I took all this experience, all this strength from when I was young, fighting in the street, to get it done in the cage.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mustafa, just one more question over here. Now that you're here in America, you're ready to make your mark and show all these new people and this new fan base what you're about. What do you think is going to surprise these people the most when you take the PFL cage for the first time?
Du coup, maintenant tu viens à une nouvelle audience, l'audience américaine. Qu'est-ce que tu penses qui va choquer les Américains la première fois que tu vas rentrer dans la cage?
Déjà, avant d'entrer dans la cage, ils vont tomber amoureux. C'est que je suis très charismatique, beau gosse, je sais ce que je fais. Et mon entrée va les marquer et ça va faire le tour du monde. Et une fois que je suis dans la cage, je vais juste démontrer que je suis un battant, je suis un lion. Et je suis là juste pour l'arracher sa tête et prouver à tout le monde que je suis le meilleur et je suis très fort pour être là.
So, to answer your question, before entering the cage, people will already love me. before when I will make my entrance, it will be viral on social media. When I will be inside the cage, you just will see a lion that is here for his prey, you know, and I'm just going to take his head off. That's it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Awesome. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, actually, can we get some pictures real quick? Can you just stand there? Thank you.
So I'm doing, I'm the one who messaged. My boss member.
Who's a black guy with white hair and a tall hat? That's someone, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's green. I swear I've seen it like
Feel free if you have any questions.
right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see the sneakers?
Yeah, absolutely.
The sneakers? My shoes? Yeah.
Maybe not, maybe it's with him alone.
Great.
I don't know if it's blue.
One more, bro.
I don't feel
Better English is coming soon.
Doing good.
Next fight in the US, you will be fluent.
Good work, though. At least you try, right?
it might be the same.
Yeah, better if you don't try.
Carrot.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're just making this up.
No, I feel like I've seen someone like that.
I'll be on Facebook tonight, see a random reel, and be like, damn, there it is. You guys come to PFL a lot, or just some? Mainly the bigger ones. I mean, I interview them all the time, but just to get us here, yeah. Easy. It's not my money, so I'm a fair guy. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I got my crash approved. I wish there were some Philly people on the card, but
Yeah, dude, if they could have Sean Brady on there.
Yeah, why is Sean Brady?
I don't know, man. Especially if he's doing an RAF match. Hold on, let me just wrap this. Oh, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Let me just wrap this.
Probably.
All right, Jake here. Thank you for tuning in, guys, to Home of Fight. Tomorrow, PFL ceremonial and official weigh-ins will be live. Official weigh-ins in the morning. Ceremonials will be posted in the afternoon. Friday is fight night. I'll be live all night in the back room. Media scrums. Yo, come here. 10-8, Jake.